Hi and welcome to this third episode of my workshop series where I want to create my dream workshop. My name is Dennis and I am from Hooked on Wood. And it has been a while since my last upload, and that was because of a bit of holiday, a little bit of COVID and some family time. But it's good to be back, and I am delighted that I have finally reached this stage of my new workshop. And last month I made a mobile workbench with a micro jig top that I can use to create some simple templates. But I already see the benefits of a small portable workbench that you can move around the shop. And I will also store my new laser from Neje in this workbench. And this is a laser with a 10 watt output, with a big platform and capable of cutting wood. Ideal for templates. And I will show it in my next China tool series. And I still have to enclose the space to connect it with this fan to blow the toxic air outside. I also bought some orange plastic that I want to integrate into the design. And I think it will be awesome, and I hope to show it to you soon. But most importantly, my side workbench is finally ready and I have lots of drawers to store my stuff. And all my equipment is now available with proper dust extraction and in a fixed place. And I still want to make some new wall cabinets for my tools, a new router table, and at last a new, very heavy and over-the-top workbench. And if you do not want to miss any of this, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. But now, finally, I can do everything I want in my new workshop. I want to talk about my medium-sized dust extraction system in this episode. But I think it's the only dust extractor you need in an average workshop. And I planned this for a while, but I'm glad I waited because at this moment I have the best dust extraction system so far. And as I told you in my previous videos, I think it's the almost perfect solution for the average workshop, which you can make perfect very easily. And the heart of my dust extraction system is the Record Power Camvac dust extractor. And honestly, this is a beast of a dust extractor and I'm still very impressed by it. But there are lots of reasons why I love this Camvac so much. It's difficult to spend money on a dust extractor, especially when you're starting woodworking. And this often leads to wrong choices, and I learned it the hard way. The typical workshop vacuum cleaner are suitable for handheld tools but lack power for your table saw, your miter saw or your planer. And I ended up connecting two workshop cleaners in my former workshop, which was a step in a good direction. And this sounds like a good solution, but you have to be aware that both machines are equal in power to make this work. When one is more powerful, the strongest one will suck air from the smaller cleaner as well. And although they are more powerful together than one, you lose a lot of potential and the smaller motor has an awful time battling its bigger brother. So in the end, I would not recommend this. So 6 months ago I bought this Camvac to see if this would be good enough for my new workshop. And this Record Power Camvac consists of 2000 watt motors, equal in power and dimensions, and are designed to work together. And this creates lots of power, and I was just blown away by how powerful this Camvac is. I do not want to dig into the technical part of dust extraction in this video, but it is not common that one dust extractor can handle the full range of equipment available in an average workshop. And then I mean the spectrum from small handheld tools like your sander or jigsaw to your miter saw and planer. And I even tried it on my big planer with 6-inch air port with decent results. And that is even with a lot of flex hose, which is killing for your dust extractor. So the Camvac is a sort of hybrid version. And with the two motors and the 4-inch air inlet, it can extract enough air volume for the most 4-inch equipment, but creates enough pressure to handle also the smaller tools as well. And I have never succeeded in making a hole with a fastener bit without leaving a lot of chips. And you would almost forget how messy this is without dust extraction. But also when I use my handheld router, it's practically dust free. And I can show all my equipment, but the conclusion is the same. I never had better suction for my medium-sized system, and it can work as well as dust free in most cases. So I think it's great to have one dust extractor that can handle all the machines in an average workshop. And you might think that this would cost a fortune, but the smallest version with 2 motors I bought 6 months ago starts at 480 euros. And for that money you get way more performance than the price would suggest. And this is something I'm always searching for and interested me the most. And this is one of the reasons why I think this is a perfect dust extractor, because it has some unique features you hardly see on any other medium-sized dust extractor. If you like this video, take a look at my site. Here you can find more videos about my shop improvement projects, videos to improve dust extraction of your table saw, or clever solutions for your miter saw. And you can also find some free plans for my workbench. So definitely worth to take a look. And you can find the videos and ranking of all products I tested, with direct links to the products. So visit www.hookedonwood.online. Thank you. And I like the idea of having lots of suction power without the noise it usually produces. And the ultimate solution is to place it in a closed and isolating box. But it will run very hot inside very fast. And it becomes 60-65 degrees within a minute. So you need very adequate ventilations. And before you think I just put them in a box, my ventilation was behind these dust extractors, directly outside. So I had no sound leaking into my workshop. And I do not think the Camvac is quiet. But on the other side, it has 2000 watt motors, which puts the sound level in another perspective. In fact, the motors are perfectly isolated, but what produces most of the noise is the air that blows against the diffusers. And one way to reduce the sound very easily is to place a vacuum hose on these air outlets. And here I cut a vacuum hose from Record Power in two and put them on the outlets. And this reduces the sound by almost 10 decibel. And now the sound is definitely not disturbing at this level. I made what I called a whispering box to go one step further. And although I try to make it look nice, it's by no means a complex box. It's just a box with 2 holes at the top and an air outlet at the bottom that are isolated. And in this case with the most affordable acoustic material I could find. The air noise has a pretty high frequency and is relatively easy to control. And you do not need expensive acoustic material for that. Now the sound level drops even further to 76 dB. And this becomes very convenient at this stage. And apart from the number of decibels, the sound changes in frequency, making it much more quieter in your reception. So to give a better comparison, you will hear the 3 situations in the same conditions behind each other to listen to the differences in sound level and frequency. And now you hear how much more convenient it is to listen to the vacuum hose solution and the whispering box. And most of the vacuum cleaners blow the air outside in a diffuse manner. And if you build this in a closed box, it will get very hot inside quickly. And I would not recommend doing this. But as you notice, the Camvac has 2 air outlets, and because of this you can transfer the heat outside of the box, making it an ideal extractor to place in a cabinet. And if you isolate this box from the inside, you will not hear this extractor at all. And that is what I'm planning to do. And because of this, it becomes very close to the perfect dust extractor for me. And if you want to follow the easy road to ultimate dust extraction, you just place 2 air hoses on the outlets and you will love this machine. But there's a reason why most vacuum cleaners do have multiple air outlets, or diffuse the airstream. And that is also why this Camvac comes with a diffuser on top. Because the Camvac is very powerful, it also creates a significant airstream out of these outlets. And I measured more than 20 meters per second, and that is only from one air outlet. In other words, a very powerful airstream. And you do not want such a concentrated airstream blowing in a dusty environment. So my whispering box not only absorbs the sound, but also creates a diffusion of the airstream. And for this I placed a diffuser panel inside the box. And I only put 1 panel, which I think is enough, especially in combination with this acoustic material that will create the necessary turbulence due to the structure in itself. And now the airflow is controlled and reduced to levels it will not blow dust around in your shop. So if I would not place my Camvac in my cabinet, I would place a whispering box on top of it. This is a perfect solution to create an absurd amount of suction power and be very versatile with a convenient sound level and good air diffusion. Oh, and by the way, I think it looks awesome. Of course, you want the best filtration in your dust extractor. And this Record Power Camvac has a 3-way filtration system that gets the particles at 0.5 microns in size. And how impressive that may sound, the way they do that is at least a bit unconventional. You may expect some high-end solutions to create this kind of filtrations, at least by its looks. I'm not capable of testing this claim, but Record Power is a well-respected company, so do not doubt it either. But from a practical point of view, I see some benefits how they filtrate the air. First, the barrel acts as a cyclone. You may probably think the big dust bag is in the way, but when you operate your dust extractor, it will suck out of the way of the airstream. Another advantage of this is that the dust will suck past the filter instead of against it. And I work a lot with black MDF, which leaves a very nasty dust, even more extreme than with ordinary MDF. And what I can tell you is that there are almost no signs of black MDF dust in the first whispering box I used to test the system. And I used this box for 6 months. So I'm very satisfied with the results. One downside of the system is that it becomes a bit dirty to empty the barrel. And that's why I got a bigger version, so it would take longer before I have to clean it again. But although I do not like this job, you are better able to clean your filters than a traditional filter, because it's hard to get the dust out of these filters. What is worth mentioning is that these last filtrations are these carton bags that filter to 0.5 microns. And these get clogged without you seeing this, because the particles are too small. But you're going to notice this in the suction over time. Fortunately, these bags are not that expensive. They cost around €1 a piece, and Record Power recommends replacing them every 8 to 10 hours of use. I did not count these hours, but over the last 6 months I changed them I think 2 or 3 times. So this sounds pretty much like the perfect dust extractor for me already. Again, still almost. The Camvac has 2 motors you can use together or separately. And I use the 2 motors mostly together because this always gives better results. I only use one motor when using my handheld sander or my pocket hole jig. And this is mostly because the suction is good enough with one motor, and it makes a lot of air noise when you use 2 motors on the sander. But when you use one motor, it leaks air from the other motor, reducing the suction by around 15%. So that is why I placed a blast gate on the air outlet. And when I use it on one motor, I close this gate to get the full potential of my 1000 watt motor. And when I compare this to my 1200 watt dust extractor I used before, it has almost the same performance. This is pretty good for a motor that is 200 watts smaller. So now it's pretty close to the perfect dust extractor for my workshop. And I talk a lot about the perfect dust extractor for the average workshop, because I believe you only need one dust extractor for all your equipment. It's a clever solution to place multiple motors with a medium fan in a dust extractor. And you can even buy this thing with 3 motors. In combination with the hose on the outlets, or even better, whispering box, it is a very nice dust extraction. It's way more powerful than most of the workshop vacuum cleaners, but does not necessarily cost more. Add to this that it is made in the UK, it is sold by exclusive dealers, and they give you a 5-year guarantee. I think it should be on your shortlist if you are looking to improve your dust extraction system. I tested it for the last 6 months, and it fully deserved a place in my dream workshop. I'll place a link in the description of this video to give you all the information about different models, sizes, prices, and where you can buy them. And I think it's worth to take a look. Record Power also sent me their duct network system that I built in one of my workbenches. Of course, I filmed this process, so let me know if it is interesting enough to show it in one of my future videos. Thank you again for watching. I hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comments. Have a nice day, stay safe, and we will see each other next time.